Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. And by the video title, you know what this video is about. The latest NFL news and updates. The first topic we got today is the Aaron Rodgers and the Jets trade negotiation. I don't know if the Jets are still going to pursue the Aaron Rodgers trade. Of course, they want Rodgers, and the Packers want to get rid of Rodgers most likely. Like that on the way they kind of been pushing for the trade and negotiating, saying they're shopping Rodgers and seeing like where he can land and stuff. But the Packers kind of got leverage a little bit on the Jets because they know the Jets want Rodgers a lot. But the Jets are not willing to trade that first pick. And I wouldn't be willing to trade the first pick either, because you're looking at it like this. Aaron Rodgers about to turn 40 years old, and you want me to trade a first-round pick, a highly valued first-round pick too, it's a 13th pick in the draft. Trade that pick for a guy who said that he went to the, I don't know, was the nether rim, the dark rim, the shadow rim of like Yu-Gi-Oh or something. He went there with 90% chance of retiring, and then he said he came out and then he said he had a 10% chance of playing. So he had a 90% chance. He said he was gonna retire, and you don't really know if you trade a first-round pick for him. Say for instance, you don't win a Super Bowl, you don't get far where you're trying to get to, and then he just retires the following year. And then you gave a first-round pick over for just a 1-year rental deal. I think the Jets are looking to trying to see like maybe they can try to find a medium ground with the Packers. Maybe trade a second-round pick. And maybe I don't know, maybe a second and a something, second and a fourth and a player or something. But it can't be a first round pick. It can't be a first and a second. Like it cannot be, because that's just too much. That's too much capital for Rodgers like that. It's just too much, because like he's an older age and he say contemplated retirement. You know they say once you think about retiring, you're already retired. And Aaron Rodgers last year, he didn't have like a terrible year. He was in bad, but he didn't have the Aaron Rodgers like year. He threw 27 touchdowns, which is pretty cool, but 12 interceptions. That's the most interceptions since in a long time. Actually, he haven't thrown double digits in a while like that. But I feel like he would have did better if he was in training camp with some of his receivers and they had got more chemistry built up and stuff. You see later in the year, you see Christian Watson and then Romeo Doubs. Some of those guys started playing better and better with them. But like early on, he didn't go to the training camp things because they had the little. They're doing contract negotiations and stuff like that, and they signed him to a big contract. I think the Packers are ready to go with Jordan Love. Jordan Love is a good player. We've seen him. The first time we seen him, we played the Chiefs. That was like a couple of years ago, and he didn't look the best. But then we see him recently. We played against was it the Raiders? That wasn't the Raiders. That was the Eagles, I think. Yeah, the Eagles. We came in and played for Rodgers a little bit and seeing more about him and the players saying how he improved and getting better. You might as well turn to the next era, the next generation is going to start your little kind of like transition into the guy, the quarterback that you can put some trust and faith into. But yeah, I think the Jets maybe should stop pursuing Rodgers. Maybe find a different quarterback. I know Derek Carr was on their list at first, but he signed with the Saints. They interviewed Derek Carr. The Saints was interviewing him. They had they trying to see where he's gonna go, and he signed with the Saints. And then I know Lamar Jackson is still available, and that's the next topic right here. But I don't know if the Jets would trade the 2 first-round picks and then the money situation as well. You don't know how much you're gonna pay him because you don't have an agent to really negotiate with. It could be tampering. Technically, it can be tampering a little bit because he's still kind of a part of the Ravens. He's not officially a Ravens underneath the Ravens, but he would still be considered tampering because since they've placed a franchise tag on him. But Lamar Jackson did have some news. He tweeted that he requested a trade from the Ravens on March the 2nd, but then the Ravens tagged him on March the 7th. Like that, so he tagged him after he requested a trade, and early on it kind of made it seem like that the Ravens was trying to work with him, and then the Ravens trying to work with him, and then like tried to offer him this, and then he wanted to be out like that. So it kind of had the story flipped a little bit. But now we know that Lamar asked to be traded, but the Ravens want to keep him around. And John Harbaugh just got interviewed. He said that he want to build the team around Lamar. He want to play with Lamar. But John Harbaugh don't sign the players like that. It's the GM job. So we're gonna see what happens with that. I don't know if Lamar Jackson coming back to the Ravens. Now, if the Ravens offered him that big time contract or the contract he wants, maybe. I don't know if he just don't care about what the Ravens offer anymore. If he want to just get out of the Ravens, he just want to leave because he did request a trade. I don't know exactly what the landing spots will be exactly because you had to trade 2 first-round picks, and then you would have to then you have to sign him to a contract. Or Lamar Jackson is 25 years old. He's 25 years old. He's a multiple-time Pro Bowler. He's an All-Pro MVP. He could sit out. We've seen players do that before too. Sit out the whole year like that. He'd be 26, and then he'd be a free agent, and then you'll see what teams have to offer. They have to trade anything for him or anything like that. I don't know if he'll sit out, though, because he loves football. Like that he mentioned before, they say he just want to play football and help his team try to achieve the ultimate goal, which is to win a Super Bowl like that. But I don't know if Lamar Jackson's going to do that with the Baltimore Ravens, or is he going to do that on a different team, a different jersey, maybe a different number too. That would be different to see him a different number as well. But I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going to happen in that situation. I think the Ravens, I think John Harbaugh and some of the Ravens teammates, of course, want to keep Lamar Jackson as a Raven. But I don't know if the organization, like the ownership and the GMs and all those guys that do negotiation with the contracts, want to keep Lamar around after the requesting the trade and stuff like that. It's kind of like the Austin Eckler situation. Austin Eckler wanted more money. He said the contract negotiations kind of went stale a little bit, so he asked for a trade. But Brandon Staley and, all his teammates, of course, they love Austin Eckler. He does a lot for the team. He's a big part of the offense. He might be like 30% of the offense, him and Justin Herbert. Just those two guys, especially early on when Mike Williams was injured and Keenan Allen was injured, especially last year. Austin Eckler caught over 100 passes, and he had over 900 rushing yards and almost 2,000 scrimmage yards total. And he was a touchdown machine. I think he scored 36 or 38 touchdowns from the line of scrimmage over the past 3 years, which is the most by a player. Of course, quarterback got the most throwing a touchdown, but like the line of scrimmage touchdowns, like rushing and receiving touchdowns, Austin Eckler has the most over the past 3 years. He's just a dynamic player, so I think the Chargers just got to negotiate and see what they can give him. I think Austin Eckler is only getting paid $5 million a year for a guy who's doing all that. And you look at some of the other running backs in the league who are not even doing putting up the same amount of production as Austin Eckler. They're getting paid more than him. I think Leonard Fournette. I think he might be a free agent now, but last year he got paid more than I think Leonard Fournette was getting paid like $8 or $9 million, and Austin Eckler getting paid $4 to $5 million around that. And Austin Eckler is on a different level than Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette is still pretty good, but it's different like levels and standings and stuff. So I don't know if Austin Eckler is going to stay with the Chargers or he's going to be on the move. Most likely they probably find a way to find some medium ground and keep him around because you need all the weapons you can. You want to keep that. You want to keep that core together. They build a lot of chemistry up together. They made their first playoff appearance last year. They should have won that playoff game. I betted on them and they lost. I will never bet on the Chargers again. But they should have won that playoff game last year. It was up 27-0, I believe. But you want to keep that core around. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. You want to keep Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, keep those guys around like that so they can build a lot of chemistry up and keep going and moving on forward and stuff. But the next topic is the DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is still on the move as well. The Patriots was the favor for DeAndre Hopkins and a lot of other teams. They said the Chiefs was in the running. If Patrick Mahomes get DeAndre Hopkins, that's going to be crazy. The Chiefs team is already very good. Very good team, got talent everywhere, different spots. And last year they won a Super Bowl with the receivers who are they're not like bad receivers or terrible receivers. They're just like solid guys. Like, Juju is solid. He can have his moments where he's good too. I think he was near 1,000 yards last year. He missed 4 or 5 games. And then MVS is a solid guy, can play well too, is a deep threat and stuff. Kadarius Toney, now that guy right there can be. I think he can merge to a next level as well, especially spending the full off season with the Chiefs and stuff and learning more and more and build more chemistry up. But if you get DeAndre Hopkins on the other side like that, he's gonna be the number one receiver there. And you have DeAndre Hopkins out there with Mahomes. That's gonna be crazy. DeAndre Hopkins has played most of his career with subpar quarterbacks like that. Of course, he had Deshaun Watson at one time for a few years, and he had Kyler Murray for a few years too like that. But getting Patrick Mahomes, woo, that'd be crazy right there. Another guy who's on the market too is Odell Beckham Jr. Odell, I know they said at first he was looking for a $20 million a year type contract, but he came out and said that was false. I don't know exactly what Odell's looking for. Most likely it'd be incentive based, most likely because he's coming off of 2 bad injuries, so they probably gonna have a contract where it's like you gotta play this amount of games, you got to put up this amount of production, this amount of yards, this amount of catches and stuff like that, this amount of snaps to go ahead and get your get the money through incentives because they don't know how healthy he's gonna be. I feel like Odell can come on a team, a contender team who already has a bona fide number 1 type of guy, and maybe Odell could be the second guy. Or a second type, third-ish type guy like that. I feel like that work out a lot for him too, kind of easily. Man, he can still give you some good production. I know the Vikings was a rumor to be an interest for Odell. The Vikings did not trade away. They released Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is now a Panther. Now they do have, of course, Justin Jefferson there, who's from LSU, and then Odell Beckham and Justin Jefferson. Same school. They grew up. Now they didn't grow up, but I remember that one game when Odell Beckham was passing out the money to the players or something like that when they won the championship. But I think Justin Jefferson and Odell Beckham had a good relationship like that. He's like a mentor to JJ. So if you add Odell Beckham to that, that'd be pretty good for them. And then they already got the big tight end TJ Hawkinson, who was a big factor last year too, because a lot of passes too. The Vikings only really need defense. That's their main concern. So they might be drafting a lot of defensive players. Cornerback, especially after losing Patrick Peterson as well. But Odell going there would be a nice fit for them. But yeah, that's most of the news that's going on. The main ones are the Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson, the QBs, where they will land and what spots they're going to be at. Will Lamar just stay in Baltimore and they negotiate something out, or will he sit out a year, or will he get traded somewhere, or will Aaron Rodgers, stay in Green Bay? I don't think most likely I don't really think so. He probably stay in Green Bay, but or will he get traded to the Jets? The Jets can find a way to like find some type of common ground, but like we can't trade you at first. We can trade you maybe 2 seconds, but we can't trade you first though for Aaron Rodgers because we don't know if he's going to be playing like that. If he's going to retire after that 1 year, and it's kind of too much for a 40-year-old quarterback to trade a first-round pick like that. Now I get if it was Tom Brady, because Tom Brady had the intent of playing to 45, and he did play to 45 like that. And Tom Brady won a Super Bowl. Did he win? Was it 2 Super Bowls or one? I think he won 1 Super Bowl in his 40s. Did he win 2 Super Bowls? That last Patriots Super Bowl, I don't know if it was 40. I think it was 38, 39 like that. But yeah, but Tom Brady had the intent to still play. He was still playing at a pretty good level. And Rodgers still playing at a good level too, but he has a intent, like every season is like, I'm going to retire, I'm going to do this, I'm going to retire. So we don't know exactly what's going to go on with that. But that's all I got for this video today, guys. If you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.